And that's basically all the information that we have so far. Let's go back to the book before we close it up though. So we look like this. We have this information in there. Number 7 says, click the opening balance. So we do have one other item we're going to put in there. We're going to type the 25,000 in the statement ending balance next to 12/31/15 in the statement ending balance. So we're going to go back in here and we are going to type 25,000 in the enter opening balances section. So we'll click here and this will start the bank out. Instead of us doing it with a journal entry, we're just going to enter it in now, and QuickBooks will basically make a journal entry for us. Idea being that even if we don't know debits and credits, we can set this up and QuickBooks will kind of force it to work. So we'll type that in there, and then we want the date to be 12/31/14. Sorry about that. We want the date to be 12/31/15. So then I'm going to hit tab 12/31/15 and we'll select OK. Then we're going to move down to number 8, says save and close to add the new bank account. So we're going to go ahead and hit save and close, and it will then add that bank account there, and select the Bank of Florida as the default account to use for all of the events. That means we're just going to put the same account in all of these. It's the only account we have. We hit the drop down, Bank of Florida, drop down, Bank of Florida, drop down, Bank of Florida. Now if you didn't put that beginning balance in there and you kind of close it out accidentally, you could still put it in there, but you'll have to do it with a journal entry. So we'll kind of have to back into that process. If I was to set it up, I would do it that way anyways. But you can't generally go in there oftentimes and put the opening balance in there after you've closed the window. So if you have questions on that, let me know. Then we're going to go down to click the desktop view from the Preferences tab and click Yes when asked if you want to save your changes. So then we're going to go to the desktop view, which is the next icon. We made changes to the checking, so we're going to say yes, we want to keep those changes. And then click yes. Number 11, select the multi-windows options and make sure that the show page when opening a company file and switch to colored icons background on the top bar are checked. Okay, so we're going to go to, so for me the multi-window box is checked, and I need to check this switch to colored icons checkbox here. Going back to the book, we have, okay, number 12. Click General from the Preferences tab. Click yes if asked if you want to save your changes. So we're going to go back here. Then we're going to go to the General tab. Do we want to save our changes that we just made? Yes, we do. Then within the General tab, it says from the Preferences list, click yes if, and then 13. Check all the items shown in figure 6-7. So all the items shown here we want to have selected. So let's take a look at that. So I believe you want your screen to look like this. I had to check this, I think that, and uncheck that, and I think that's about it. Scrolling down to number 14 says click the Company Preferences tab and uncheck Always Show Years in 4 digits. So remember there's 2 tabs up here. We're in the Preferences tab over here, and we're going to uncheck Always Show Years in 4 digits as instructed. Then we're going to scroll down to number 15, says click Reminders from the Preferences list. Click yes when asked if you want to save your changes. So once again, we're going to go down here and we're looking for the reminders. There they are. We have a little clock for the reminders. We're going to say yes, we want to save the changes to the prior tab, and then click yes when asked to, okay, click OK if you see a warning message. All right. 17, click the Company Preferences tab and choose the Don't Remind Me option button for all the reminders. So again, because we're working in a worksheet in not real time, we don't want the reminders to be reminding us of things because we are not working in real time. Of course, in real life, many of these reminders would be very useful options. Going to scroll down to page 98. Number 18 says click the Reports and Graphs from the Preferences and click yes when asked if you want to save your changes. So we can go back here. We're going to click Reports and Graphs. Do we want to save the changes we made? Yes, we do. Then we're going to scroll down. It says 19. Click the My Preferences tab and choose the option Refresh Automatically. So we're going to go to the My Preferences, which is the first tab, and we want to click the option to say Refresh Automatically. and that is located here. So we have that item, and refresh, and then number 20, click OK to close the preferences window. So we finally get to click OK and say we have done that and close the preferences window. All right, 21, click the View menu and then click the top icon bar. Then right-click the icon bar and then select the Customize Icon bar. Now this is where the demo version will look a little bit different than the actual, default version for 2014. So if you're using the demo version, you're going to have that icon bar that we've been using up at the top. If you're using 2014 without the demo version, you're going to have this pane on the right-hand side. If you're at the icon bar, you're going to right-click on it, and we're going to customize that. If you have a pane on this side, you can right-click in this pane and customize the shortcuts in this pane. And it's the similar idea. We have these items that are located in the shortcut, and you can adjust these. This is just basically adjusting the format of the windows. So I'm going to go back over here, and it says to click the View at the top of the bar, then right click, and then number 2, click the Client Review from the List and Icon bar, and then click Delete. And then it says follow the same process and delete spacers except for the account home, customers, and whatnot. Now I'm not going to do this exactly. I'm just going to show you kind of what they're talking about. Like the spacer, obviously you don't need that. We can say we want to delete that. If we scroll down here and a couple other items, anytime we have a space, we can delete the space. Bank feeds, I don't need that. I can delete that. So that's basically what they're doing. You're customizing the icon bar to remove some of the added information over here that will not be relevant to you. And of course, you can customize this to any settings that you would need. And then you can select OK, and then you're selecting these icons over here. Again, I'm not going to grade you on that, but you want to get used to that look. It looks a little bit different in this 2014 version that doesn't have the demo overset on it. So going back to the homework here, follow the same procedures. Number 24, click OK, close the Customize Icon bar window, and then click Home. So we could go back to the Home tab. Again, yours will look a little different. You'll have that Home tab up here. Our Home tab is, of course, here, and we have similar icons in the Home tab looking like this. Then we're going to go to your window should now look like figure 6.9. You may have to resize the home window, but the menu items, icon bar, and home window should look familiar. Alright, so I'm going to scroll back down, and you can pause it and read through this area. I'm going to skip down to the next gray area, which is down here on page 99, and it says to set up multiple items. So now we're going to actually set up the items, and this is going to be the longest part of this process. So number 1, we're going to say items and services from the company section on the home page. A couple ways we could get into the items section. A lot of times I usually go to lists and go to items list up here, but you can also get to it from the home page. I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to go here and go to items, and here we have a list of our items, and there's a few items that are in here by default. We're basically going to put our inventory items in at this time. For my screen, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this window, and again, yours will look a little bit different, but I want to have as much space as possible in order to work on this. So number 2 then says click the item button in the lower left corner of the item list window, and then select delete item. So we don't want the consignment item. So we're going to go back up here, and we have this consignment item. We can go down here and we can click the item button, and we can say delete that item. We don't need it. We don't have anything on consignment. That was a default area, and we can do that, and that's how we could remove it. So that the unusual thing on this window is the drop up arrows at the bottom down here. Sometimes are hard to find. Click the item button in the lower left corner of the item list window, and then click delete. Number 4 says click OK, and we have completed that. We are now moving to page 100, which has an objective of click the item button again, and then select add edit multiple items. So now we're going to add items. If you select this item button on the bottom left again, you get the drop up, and we could edit an item. We can add an item. We want to add multiple items. So we're going to do multiple items at one time. Add edit multiple items. We will get another screen that will come up that will look something like this. And so then we can enter our items here. First thing we're going to do if we have to enter a lot of items is customize this top area so that we can enter the items as efficiently as possible. So If we go back over here, click the item button again, we're going to scroll down, number 6, select the service item from the top drop-down list. So we have non-inventory items and we have customer items. In this case, we want service items. We're going to click the service items. Again, your screen might look slightly different, but it will be the same type of idea. QuickBooks does not really change from year over year, even though the look of it changes, and there are new features, of course, that are added from time to time. Then we're going to select click Customize Columns button and click the sub-item of from the Choose Columns list, and then click the Remove button. So the Customize Column button is located over here. I'm going to select the Customize Column, and then we have the columns that are chosen on this side, the ones that are unchosen on this side. So we can add columns over here, or we can take columns away from this side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to go down to this picture right here, and this is the order in which we want these items. So I'm going to do what we have to do in order for the order of the items to be in this order. So we've got the item name, and then we have the sales description. So we need the sales description. That's going to be over here. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to add it. Then I want to make it the second item. So I'm going to go ahead and move it up by selecting this again, until it is the second item. After that, we want the sales price. So the sales price is right here. Once again, I'm just going to move it up 1, and there's the sales price. Then we want the income account. So that's this one. I'm going to move that up 1. There's the income account. And then we want the sales code. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to move that up 1. And then the sub-item unit, I'm going to remove that. So these are the items we have. When we hit OK, that will be the headers that will pop up on this item here. So now we have the items being the item name, sales description, sales price. Now you might want to open some of these up and close some of these. So you can do the same thing just to widen the space that we have, like so. And the sales price probably don't need as much space. The income account we probably don't need as much, and the tax code. So we can enter that information. Probably not as relevant here, will be more relevant later. I'm going to go ahead and close this pop-up window and scroll back and see what we have next. Moving down to page 101, it says we're going to type 20-hour service in the space below the item name column. So we're typing in the information shown on page 101. I'm clicking 20-hour service. I'm going to select tab, go to the next one. We can type that information in, hit tab. The sales price is going to be $175, tab. And then when we get to the service item, we're going to type in service. And then notice there's no service account in the dropdown. So when we hit tab, it's going to ask us, do we want to set up this account? And we, of course, are going to choose yes, we want to set up this account. And then we're going to have our account setting. The default will be income because it's in an income account.